What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Unfiltered Truths. I am your host, Phil Robinson. With me, as always, my brother from another mother, the almighty, the incomparable Phil motherfucking Jones.
Hey, what's good? How you guys doing today?
Now, you might speak up into the mic a little bit there, tough guy.
You can't hear me? Oh, hold up. One second. There you go.
There you go.
How you
What's up,
guys doing this
everybody?
evening, man?
This is where we would stop and give you some time to make your comments, but we can't see them because this is a recording. So we're going to push through it and keep it pushing. Raiders lose an ugly game to the Chargers 20-9. And at first glance, you would swear up and down the sky was falling and everything is horrible and shit. What the fuck happened? But I had the benefit of going back and watching the film. I had the benefit of looking at how some plays really got down, and then from the all 22 footage versus looking at the TV broadcast, a little bit more was revealed.
I mean, look, I saw my shit. I posted my stuff on what I saw from the All 22, and I'm just going to say this. There's a handful of adjustments that need to be made, especially with the offensive line. With Jordan Meredith being center, that experiment needs to go on and end. You need to go on and he's fine as a blocker, but putting the responsibility of snapping the ball, then blocking, then calling communication and adjustment assignments for the offensive line, it's just too much on his plate right now. In my opinion, you need to go on and put Jackson Powers Johnson back at center. And then the next thing you need to do, go on and put Meredith at guard. And I'm going to say this right here. Dylan Parham got to go. I stuck my neck on the line for him a few times, but it's time for a swap out. So there's a possibility it's time to go see the rookie and put Rogers at that right guard spot. I don't know why they had him at left guard during the all season and having them preseason playing left guard, but I prefer him to be at right guard, his natural position. Alex Kappa, you can tell that there's rust on him because he didn't play in none of the preseason games either. And this was literally his first live game, and it was rough.
I always thought bro was doing too much. He was hecka disrespectful until I heard dude play.
You're gonna have to share it. We just gotta
Who the fuck are you? I don't ever get fucking Mickey sent me this shit.
Facts, as Bubba Dub would say. Trash.
And I'm an NYU film school graduate.
That joker took a five.
all while doing the Raiders. Luckily, it's only 5 minutes in, and I found a way to royally screw this up already. The offensive line, the changes that you recommended. Personally, I think that Alex Kappa wasn't initially as bad as I thought he was. At looking at the offensive line, they were not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't the gloom and doom that it looked like. It wasn't good enough. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And Dylan Parham absolutely must come off the field. I can't for the life of me understand what discipline would teach you to turn your head away from a guy standing at the line of scrimmage and leave him with a wide open path to the quarterback.
Yeah, I was a little baffled. I was like, they really continue to let Haney get back there over and over and over whether it was Meredith or Parham, I'm just like
Same gap. Well,
why am I having four out of the 5 offensive linemen shift over to one side? Guess what? Somebody still needs to man the middle.
yeah.
That made no sense. It was just like, it was abysmal to see the way these guys went out and performed when it came to pass protection and blitz pickup. It was just ugly.
Blitz
And
when you say blitz pickup, you can't say blitz pickup without talking about your generational running back rookie.
oh, don't get me started with him. I'm coming for his. I'm
You
coming for
started
him.
it. I don't have to get you
Oh,
started. You open that motherfucking can up
I
on your.
opened up. Why do you think I said it? Because first off, what the hell was he doing? He did like a tap and just, I'm just gonna walk away. Walking away. I'm gonna be the big man and walk
Do
away.
some patty cake.
Man, we custom kids out with the 12U for doing some patty cake shit like that.
We kick people off the team for some shit like this at this level. Like that is not the image to be putting out on film. Especially when you're in motion, you seem to be able to truck anybody who's coming at you in a one-on-one
Whoever
situation.
you engage with, you need to make sure they're up in front of your face, unless you're doing a delayed release and going out for a pass. But still, that was just tap and just shuffled over to the other side. I'm like,
there was a lot of confusion from that young man in this game, and I thought that running the ball he was on the precipice of actually getting ready to make a breakthrough and break a big one a couple of times when he wasn't getting hit in the backfield. But that pass protection situation, not hitting the right hole or knowing the proper side to run, because blocking was right there. It was perfect on that play. Had he gone where he was supposed to go, he would have been able to hit that for a big one. Which is why I said earlier that the offensive line play wasn't quite as bad as it appeared to be on TV when you could look at it from a different angle. The execution, however, in words of John Gruden, I need better fucking execution.
literally, because that performance right there, again, they look like a JV team going up against a damn varsity. They look terrible. I put it like this. They look like Bishop Sycamore going up against
Bishop Gorman
going up against DeMatha. It's funny. It was supposed to play before that scandal happened, but still, they look like a hot mess, and it starts with your offensive line coach. You're the one that's supposed to go out there and you're the one, you still got to make your adjustments. You made no adjustment. Whatever you're running, whatever you have them going on doing so far, shit ain't working. The experiment of switching guys around, guess what? The shit ain't working. The one thing as a pet peeve with me, if there's been a guy that has been accustomed to playing a position his entire collegiate career, let's go back to even high school, and he's been at the same fucking spot. Why the fuck are you moving him out of his position now of all times?
because I just think he'll be better at this position because that's what we need him to play. Except we need him at his actual position probably more, but because he's better than who we have at that other position, he got to play out of position is really how that breaks down. And even if that is the case, then that just goes to show that the attention to detail on the roster was not properly addressed. There are some depth holes, not even necessarily depth holes. We'll just call it just talent holes in this roster that very easily could have been addressed. We had the cap space to make moves. We are in a position with the roster where you could have easily replaced someone to go get someone who's going to make a difference and an impact at a position of need. And for whatever reason, that was sacrificed, or the solution was subpar at this moment. It also happens to be week 2. We played a very game opponent, and from the looks of things, the Chargers are for real under Harbaugh at this current juncture. That was definitely a good football team. Probably the best I've ever seen cover 2 executed outside of the 02 Buccaneers.
Yeah, but the one thing about it, it was too many opportunities left out on the field. Yes. When you weren't able to get the passing game to go, guess what? Run the fucking ball. You were down in the red zone, within the red zone area by about 7 times, and you chose to pass more than run. As I recall last week, when you got down there, you started running the ball, you ended up getting a rushing touchdown. We started seeing the running game start to pick up a little bit more with Genty. Like you said earlier, it could have broke off for a big run. So my whole thing is this. You build off the positive. If you're not having the passing game go the way you want it, there was a lot of underneath that was available. There were some intermediate, like cross the middle passes that you could hit that you found with Jacoby Myers. You build off of that, and then you go, boom, let's hit the run. Boom, let's hit that. Granted, I get it. The O-line wasn't looking suitable to be able to handle a job like that. But either way, Genty was still getting through and managing to get positive yards.
Chunks. Not just positive yards, chunks. Yeah. It was feast or famine. Either he got hit in the backfield and lost yards, or he was looking at gaining 7 to 10.
But
running guys over, making moves in open field, looking elusive and every bit the back that he was supposed to be. But even he got to get a little bit of blocking.
So I'm going to say this. I don't want to hear a damn thing about the defense. The defense did their fucking job.
20 points they gave up. And yes, the Chargers could have scored at the end if they truly wanted to, at least kick the field goal. But the defense came out and played their asses off and kept us in this game when it should have been a blowout early. At first play of the game, behind the 8 ball, they went out there, got a 3 and out, and only gave up 3. And that's what should have set the tone for the rebound for the offense.
Yeah.
Only it never came. And listening to the press conference that Gino did today, and listening to Pete's confidence in him and calling him a 70% guy who wasn't 70% yesterday. There were a lot of minor things, and in the end on TV it looks major because the play was no good and he's out here doing things. The zone coverage that they were employing was a tighter zone than what we give up, and so everything that he had to work with was short and contested because the offensive line wasn't holding up and he had to get rid of the football. And then it got to a point where he started hearing the voices and seeing and feeling the footsteps because he was getting rid of the ball when he had time to sit in the pocket and survey, make his reads, and come up with a better solution than some of the things that he did. He got focused on his guys, and at this point in juncture, it's fairly easy to know he's going to be looking for Thornton deep, Brock
Yeah.
Bowers for just about everything else, and you'll see Tucker on the sidelines cross and hitting deep crossers. Only every time Tucker is wide open on a deep crosser, he never gets the ball, except for last week when he caught the touchdown. The interception that was thrown to Thornton, or I don't even think it was the interception, yeah, but either that one or the non PI call, which the officiating is a whole nother level of bad in this game.
Whew.
It seemed as though they spent the whole day trying to make up for not calling the hit on Justin Herbert a penalty, or not throwing dude out the game, because after that, Gino was taking late hits, taking blows to the head. Receivers were getting held. It was quite comical to watch after a while, because it's just like, well, we're looking at this, and even the announcers are saying it on the broadcast. Yeah, well, the refs just missed that one. Yeah, the refs just missed that one. Yeah, the refs missed another one. And that was just, but when you have such an abject failure as the game that the Raiders played, you can't point to that and say that was the cause, because it was just horrible all the way around, except for the defense.
Damn. Oh man, that's wow. That's a little unsettling after what I just saw right there. But I'm gonna hope that's wrong. These quarterbacks have one QB coach in common.
Which is
Sean Watson, Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Geno Smith, and CJ Stroud all have the same QB coach.
Bobby Slowick?
No.
No, it wasn't Bobby. Who was it?
Quincy.
Ah. Isn't he doing it? Wasn't he working with Shador and Cam as well?
Nah.
Or no, that's Daryl. You're right. Anywho.
But yeah, you look at the Chargers, they have a nice squad. They have been putting something together. They've kept most of their defense intact and offense intact as best as possible over the last 3.5 years. So
Since they got rid of Telesco, that's for sure. They've built successfully since they got rid of Telesco.
I think the only thing that was different, you got a different running back. You added in a couple of rookies for your receiving core. But other than that, everything's about the same of what they've been running so far. And when you've had things that are finally gelled in, hey, the sky's the limit. You just need proper preparation, especially with coaching. Mm-hmm. And you get that with Harbaugh is they're going to be a challenge. They're not going to be someone that you can just roll your eyes on and keep rolling. They're going to stand there and fight with you. Now, I'm also going to say this about our team. Our defense, again, you keep things intact as best as possible. And then you maybe add like some few good core pieces. You're going to be a solid ass team. You have a solid defense right here, and you have the same D-line coach. You have the same defensive coordinator. You bring in some familiar faces that have worked with the organization for your secondary. So right off the get-go, the Raiders they can have a top 15 defense this year.
Well, they're currently top 5. Top 15 would be a backslide.
Oh my.
Yeah, that would be a backslide.
Oh my.
Yeah.
But
speaking of the defense, for all of the concerns that we had about the defense, aside from the bend but don't break style of play that neither one of us can stand, the scheme has covered the holes for the most part. Now, has it been perfect? Again, no, but also the Chargers offensive line is quite formidable and is going to end up being a top 5 unit by the end of the year. So the lack of pressures or meaningful pressures is something that everybody is going to have to contend with when they play, because they run a lot of 7-man fronts, 7 and 8-man fronts. Whether it be with receivers, couple different tight ends, 13 personnel, or unbalanced. That's just what Harbaugh does. He runs numbers at you. Always has, always will. And then the power just wears you down. And
right.
and then if he's not running an unbalanced or overactive line, he got that huge fullback, 300-pound fullback that wants to go and dive over the top of the pile when he ain't got the ball.
Ooh. Here, look. So I'll reiterate the few things that we need to do with this offense. One, well, I'm also going to make this known. I think Brock was only at about 75 or 80% playing.
He shouldn't be playing if he's going to be that hurt.
He should have just sat this one game out, or they should have used him as a decoy at best. But that wasn't the case in this situation.
No.
Brock needed to just get a full week of rest. Now, will Brock be ready going into Washington? I think he will be ready to go.
And truthfully, he may get away with having a big game at 50% because they had nothing for Trey McBride.
Not Trey McBride, but Kraft.
Kraft, yeah. Jordan Kraft.
Tucker Kraft was...
That's what his name was killing them. Every time you look up, you didn't even get to see Golden or any of the other receivers because Tucker Kraft was out there in the field by him, like nobody recognized he was playing.
He was having the time of his life. To be honest, I mean, both tight ends can have a good game.
They got to throw the ball to Mayer first for him to have a good game. And honestly, truthfully, from what we've been hearing it since training camp, I'm waiting for them to do it. They said he's been marvelous. That even in when he got his opportunity in the last game, he made it happen. So he's just waiting to be used. There's a lot going on with the offensive weapons as they get used to each other, feel this thing out, learn Chip's offense. There's far more weapons than just Thornton and Bowers. Tucker and Myers have to be utilized and brought in to keep defenses off balance. And Michael Mayer is going to be the forgotten guy, and he can be an absolute killer.
Yeah, when you're usually the forgotten guy, that's going to end up killing teams, a lot of teams. But really, they're going to have to make sure this offensive line is squared away because again, you keep Meredith just looking at him at center. The snaps are coming out slow. They're when you're in a gun, why the fuck am I having to jump up to get the damn ball? Right there, that is throwing the timing of the play off. If it's supposed to be an inside run, guess what? I gotta leap up and try to grab the ball and try to hand it off to him. You right there trying to get yourself set. You just took 2-3 seconds right there. All for what should have been just been like hand off, boom. You're now adding additional time.
Or scooping one off of the turf.
Or coming off, yeah, because it bounced right off your ass.
And now, let me ask you a question. How does a man get on national TV, prime time, and try to stick a ball up his own ass?
You know, I as someone that has played center, I've never had that problem my entire time. When I was playing center back from Beltway League in high school, when you're at college, I've never had that problem. Never.
I've never seen that before. No.
That is literally, so what happened there, that is literally what you call a piss poor job when you are being a center. That means you have no business being a center. That means you are subpar. You have a qualified center, but you have decided to put him at right guard. Come to think about it, I'm just like, I'm baffled by that shit.
And that was the opposite of the position he was playing when you started him as a rookie at the left guard, which he played significantly better. Just like Dylan Parham plays significantly better on the right side. You see he has no problem sliding to the right at all. Problem is he got to stay to the left.
And the thing about it, you can always tell. And I made note of this a couple weeks back. When you look at JPJ's initial step, his power step, it's always been that right foot. Usually you got to have that left foot when you're inside. Like he always want to kick to that side. So that foot always wants to kick towards the inside when he was playing left guard or when he was snapping the ball as a center. The thing about it, you can't take people out of their natural fucking position.
Sure you can.
And you wonder why it always fails. It like common sense. And I pray to God one of them hear me say this shit. Because
please, God, send some help.
I want them to feel a certain way. I want them to be mad at me. I'm calling them out because Brendan Carroll is acting like he don't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't. He's the run game coordinator and the offensive line coach. So you can kind of see, well, this shit's not working for Genty right now. I wonder who. O-line's looking like a horrendous mess. It all points to one guy right now. So with that being said, he needs to either get his shit together or tell his dad, I'm going back to college.
So let me ask you a question, Coach Phil. So how do you fix this issue with spatial awareness and not picking up stunts, not being able to distinguish when guys are working in tandem as with their pass rushing, and how one guy is the distraction and the other guy is the one who's actually coming through your gap and your actual responsibility, because that's where they seem to be struggling the most at.
So it's basically off of reaction. You got to be quick off your step. So if you know, and when I go back and I look at the play, someone tried to tell me they should have did a duo, but I'm like, you already had a double team going on right here on the left side. So they're initially, everybody else needs to go in and crash down. You're blocking down.
Yeah.
So if you see Mayers, he's blocking down. You already see
Blocking down the wrong way.
But it's just like, if you have, usually when you have a one-on-one, yeah, you're supposed to take on that guy that's in front of you. But again, you see the linebacker right there, and that's your field awareness that I put that shit on, because you should have called that out. Watch the linebacker. Watch the linebacker. You should have been like, hey, Kappa, I'm handing Kappa, going to you. He's going to you. It's going to you. I'm passing on that man that's lined up in front of me. Boom. And I'm making my first initial step, my inside power step, and I'm coming over to take that linebacker out. And it's not, some people can say, well, it's easier said than done. But I mean, real talk, you can actually do that shit. You have to be quick. As a lineman, you're not slow and sluggish. You have to be quick now. As a center, yeah, you have a lot of responsibilities. People think that shit is not easy. And if you can't handle that job, you need to step aside. Because you need to make sure it's a good center and quarterback exchange, whether it's under center or from the gun. That's the first main thing. Mm-hmm. Second, you're gonna have to communicate shit out what you see before the ball is even snapped, before the play is even called in general. Really, he should have been communicating what he saw. That's 3rd and 1. It should be communicating, talk. And I shit you not, I don't see no hand movement. I don't see nothing. When I go back and listen, you don't see or hear shit. And this is not the first time I've said this shit about the Raiders line. Matter of fact, this was the same shit we were saying fucking last year.
With James.
Now, when JPJ moved in the center, you hear him being vocal. You hear him. Go on and just put him back to his natural position. Just do it now. Make things easier. Put him back at center.
Play Meredith at left guard, where he showed that he was the best at.
And you have the option either going Kappa or Parham or even Rodgers at right guard. It's that simple.
And your offensive line will begin to play better as a whole. They can, from that particular alignment, they can run zone, they can run power. So your duos will get better. Said JPJ is much better at passing off defenders from the middle than he is from a side. And you can finally put some confidence in your quarterback that the moment he drops back, he doesn't have to get rid of the football, because he's not going to get destroyed from a guy coming from up the middle or behind him that he doesn't see.
No, that's all it is. I mean, it to be honest, is not that complicated. Everybody may think it is, but it really isn't. It really is not that complicated to make these adjustments. It's just someone needs to just speak up and do it. Because I'm just gonna say, bro,
That ain't
you
it.
don't do it. I'm gonna say this shit right now. If you don't make these adjustments with this O line, you're gonna get that fucking quarterback killed. But again, this the same offensive line coach that was getting Geno fucked up back when he was in Seattle.
Yeah.
Brennan
And it
was
doesn't
getting this
change.
was the same offensive line coach that wanted to move guys out of position. And you go back and look at that damn Rams game where you hear Geno say, "Oh shit." Any motherfucker you can hear pick up on a soundbite saying, "Oh shit," when you see Aaron Donald coming because he was not blocked, you fucked up. You fucked up as an offensive line coach. Spy Tech, I'm going to call you out on this shit because now you need to have a heart-to-heart with Pete and said, "Look, this if this shit is looking like a mess going into week 3, he's got to go, or you need to have Joe Philbin take over."
Mm-hmm.
One or the other.
Because
Now,
your
people that
line
are not,
this.
and I had like a handful of folks trying to tell me that it was Pete Carroll, not Pete Carroll, but it was Joe Philbin that had fucked up the O line last year. And I'm going to explain to you guys one last motherfucking time. It was James Craig, okay?
Offensive line.
James Craig that got his ass fired at LSU. That was the offensive line coach.
San Francisco.
And San Francisco too.
And Las Vegas.
Joe Philbin came in and made the adjustments. Joe Philbin was the one where you saw like, oh damn, a quarterback got a little bit more time in the pocket. The running game starting, the holes are starting to open up a little bit better. Yeah, that was him. I'm gonna tell you this, don't disrespect Joe Philbin.
No.
Because this man is the reason why Ezekiel Elliott was killing it in Dallas. That's the reason why most of them guys in Dallas were making all that damn money on that O-line was because of what he was implicating for that offensive line. He may not have been the best head coach back when he was in Miami, but as a coordinator, he's a damn good coordinator. So let's get that straight, okay?
So right after we kill the no Joe Philbin slander around here, let me take this brief moment and interject and ask you: Are you subscribed to the Unfiltered Truth? If you're not, why not? All you got to do is click that thumbs up button, subscribe. You can get this premium content, this premium football knowledge breakdown, and every once in a while we may even throw in the members, the After Dark members only, all 22 film breakdown. So where we go in great detail and show you just exactly what it is that we're talking about and why it is that the Raiders are having success or incurring failure. That's all the type of stuff you'll get from being a member. So please subscribe to the Unfiltered Truth and give us that like button. Tell a friend. But back to the show here. Yeah, Brandon Carroll, Seattle. The offensive line has been Pete's Achilles heel, and you understand why. That some of the people he chooses to coach it have a unique idea of how to approach that, and it's usually at one that falls apart quickly. It may have some success for a while because it's on some tough guy shit, but once you got to do something other than muscle up and make adjustments, it doesn't seem to be happening. A lot of what I saw, so it was different than the last week. The Patriots overloaded sides. this week the Chargers crossed a lot of faces and stunned it a bunch, and it wasn't from the other side of the defensive line. Most of the time, it was up the middle and to the inside, and that to the right guard is, and I'm just going to say it is right now is the hole in this offensive line. Until we get that situation squared away and they play better, you're going to continue to see your quarterback be in situations where he's fearing for his life and trying to duck into the sack that's not there, and being escorted to a spot in the pocket where he can feel calm and safe enough to get a throw off.
I'll say another thing I'm going to say. Everybody's thinking that, oh, New England, they're ass, they're trash. I mean, you saw what the fuck they gave to Miami last week.
Well, I'm not going to say use that as the measurement bar, because Miami is horrific.
No, I'm going to say this now, because that same person that I told you guys about, Milton Williams.
Was that dude? No, he most certainly was that dude. So,
And that was the dude, and he was the dude that was giving JPJ a lot of problems.
Barmore too.
But he came from that Eagles D line. It's funny, when you grab somebody from these Eagles D line, these motherfuckers are showing off. They're legit. So it's not just a Jordan Davis or a Jalen Carter. Whoever's the second man up or the third man up, they're good quality starters.
Or here's a better suggestion. It's about time somebody made a play for their defensive line coach. That's the move.
Make him a defensive coordinator, yeah.
Yeah, you start building that, because that defensive line has been absolute domination for years now.
But you got to look, and then that's the other thing. I go back and look. This is the other thing I looked at. Look at what the Chargers D-line gave to Kansas City week 1. They kept that same energy.
Well, they most certainly did, and the Chargers is the Chiefs is a separate conversation for a different day, because they have problems, and you've heard me say it for years, and it hasn't materialized, but that ship has hit the rocks, and they have some real fucking problems that Patrick Mahomes is not going to be able to save them from. Not this year.
That one, bro.
Not this year. The wars have mounted up, and it's not looking good. Said Rashee Rice is still 4 weeks away, and they have absolutely zero going on offense outside of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, like I said, it's a whole hot fucking mess over there. I don't care what anybody says. Now, us getting ready for Washington. And Raider Nation, if you are going out to the game, you guys will see me out there. I'll be at the game. So link up. Yeah, Raider Nation, we're gonna be linked up. We're gonna be at the Raiders Commanders game this Sunday. So you guys link up with me.
So how much was tickets, if you don't mind my asking? Because I'm just trying to gauge ticket prices versus the Legion, because I'm fairly certain you didn't pay the hometown price.
I got it for a perm.
Ooh, a nice perm or a cheap one?
That Cat Williams perm.
Ooh, now you didn't. Stop. Them's Vegas prices.
Ah.
That's the finest
But
Egyptian court.
yeah, I will definitely be there. I'll be there at the game on Sunday. I'm gonna be getting there hella early. So if you guys are looking to link up, meet up and all, just let me know.
So DMs is always open.
Wow.
What's
And yeah,
that?
this is becoming a problem. Percentage of running backs run stuff for no gain. Raiders
Number
have the
7
highest
that week.
percentage at 37.1%. Right behind us are the Seahawks, Giants, Chargers, Dolphins, Niners, Ravens, Eagles, Browns. Yeah, that's a problem.
Now the flip side to that, the numbers are all screwy, and that's why you can't really trust numbers 2 weeks into the season. Because
Yeah.
last week Gino was leading the league in passing. This week Gino is leading the league in interceptions. What a difference a week makes! But you can check that in my weekly breakdown of the AFC West and how the AFC West will be won. It'll be week 2. It should be out in the next couple of days on RaiderRamble.com. Shameless self plug. I don't care. But that's where we are with that. But let's switch gears and let's make this a party and let's talk about the fucking defense.
Whew. Uh, Again, going back to what I said the other week, Devin White is back.
Well, hold on.
Oh,
Devin White got broke off. Devin White got shook out his jock strap. Devin White dropped a pair of tidy whities on the turf.
like it ain't never happened to anybody else.
Said, listen, Devin White had that smooth breakdown and said, "Oh, which way did he go?"
Man, I just don't. Oh man, this is. I'm still going back and looking at the old 22 tape, and I'm just like, it's some plays that just. Why did we stop running with Genty?
That is without a doubt probably one of the largest questions of that game. Is why did we stop running with Genty? It's got to be frustrating for Genty, especially given the fact that he's a volume runner. And that was one of the things that I said about him during the draft process, the lead up to the draft, the end of the season. And the problem, and in this particular instance, the problem with a volume runner is that he needs a certain amount of carries, certain amount of hits. Why it is, that's just how he gets down before he's finally hitting his stride, feeling good, feeling loose, seeing things for what it's supposed to be, finding out where the holes are, how the defense responds to him, how they're attacking him. And in 10 to 11 carries, he can't do that. Not to the level that it needs to be. And I get it. In today's NFL, very rarely do you see running backs breaking 15 to 20 carries a game. That means that the Russian attack is extremely successful when you start breaking 20 attempts by a single player.
Yeah.
And right now that's working to his detriment because he's not seeing the ball. He's seeing the ball roughly about 25 to 33% of the amount of touches he was getting at Boise, Idaho.
Gotta get it going. No, I'm sorry. You gotta try to find a way to get this ball rolling again with him. But
Yeah,
yeah, the defense. The only thing that really sticks to me, you draft a guy in the third round. You're talking like he's just going to be one of your starters, and
We'll start him all off season, all training camp,
even in preseason, you started him.
preseason.
And
Now, to his credit, I'll say that Kelly has been playing above what I thought he was capable of playing.
yeah,
He most certainly has. Now, the wild card is Stokes. I haven't seen anything out of Stokes so far that isn't replaceable. Haven't seen anything out of Stokes that I couldn't get from somebody else. So can he sit in the zone at 8 yards and run with them down the field? Yes. Can you chase him in the trail technique while giving up the reception across the middle? Pretty sure you can find a bunch of guys who can do that. I have yet to see anybody other. Oh, you've seen Kelly, Palomau, and Chin make plays on the ball. Not really anybody else. And in order for this defense to take the next step, that has to change. Now, will it be Porter? Who knows? Should he be getting more work in the slot or nickel and dime situations? I'd like to believe so, because again, Darnay Holmes isn't doing anything out there but running around getting cardio and playing patty cake as well.
yeah, because Darnay Holmes has given up a few. Whew, he has given up some plays where I'm just like, I don't want shit given up.
No,
Not even 5 yards.
prefer you take, do nothing but take. And communication. The touchdown, the big touchdown they gave up to Quentin Johnson was a breakdown in communication and an overload of the zone. It was a good play. It was great play design, and it put extra. Really, what came to mind is the play that Devontae scored on Patrick Surtain.
Okay.
Except the flip sides of the field, but basically that's what you had. And when he went to pass, he thought he was going in, he thought he was going to continue in, and when he passed him off, the safety who was trailing the crosser coming from the other direction continued with him instead of heading deep, and before you knew it, Quentin Johnson was by himself.
Yep.
Herbert got a big arm. He got it 60 air yards, and it looks bad on film.
Yeah, it did. But again, that was all in that first half, and then nothing else after that.
Nothing else.
It's almost as if, are they just running a first half script? In the second half, they can't figure shit out?
It's genuinely what it tends to be, but by that also very same token, they were content to take what the Raiders gave in terms of the underneath. If you look at Herbert's throwing chart, virtually everything he threw, with the exception of the deep pass to Johnson and maybe one or two other ones, was at 5 to 7 yards, which is how all the teams who are smart are going to continue to attack this defense. But that's the bend but don't break nature of its schematic advantage, we'll call it. I hate watching it. I hate seeing it. I can't stand seeing those corners 8 to 9 yards off the ball every play. I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Hate it. But when they get down to the red, about 30 yards in, or the red zone, when the field condenses, that you can't get around. You can't get around them, and they buckle down.
Yeah. The D line. I've been very impressed with what they've been showing us so far. Tyree Wilson, Jonah
Alualu or
Lualu. Lualu. He's one of your top and tier linemen. What 3 sacks so far?
Mm-hmm.
This season within 2 weeks is pretty damn good. I mean, like we kept all, and then you look at what you're getting out of Thomas Booker out of the trade. You're getting more out of this investment than what the Eagles are getting out of Jacorian Bennett right now.
Let's hope it continues.
The pressure, he's been creating pressure. The pressure rate is there. And
He's
the thing about it,
run defense.
Say it again.
He's integral in the run defense.
Yes, he is.
And
So,
that is that he got an untold contribution in eating up double team spaces and shedding blocks to get to the guys at the line of scrimmage.
Man, I'm just saying, this is what we wanted from the D line for a long time now. We're finally starting to get the rotation. This is what Patrick Graham has wanted, to have a proper rotation. Come in, come out, big guys, speed guys, pass rushers inside is running the NASCAR. Tyree, he'll kick on out. He's been able to finally do that, something that he's wanted over the last, 3 years.
I do have a concern, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention it.
Okay.
And I'm concerned that Silky Wilkie mind fucked Adam Butler.
I've been thinking about that too, man.
I'd like to see some more out of Butler. It's been steady. It's been steady, but I would like to see some more out of Adam Butler. But again, it's 2 weeks in. The defense has given up 33 points in 2 games.
Yeah, this has been
16 and a half points a game. 17 and a half.
Yeah, it's about
16 and a half.
About 16 and a half.
Yeah.
And
that's not bad, especially when you gave up only 20 to the Chargers.
Yeah.
Despite what appeared to be the overwhelming success they were having early, because they had no answers early.
No, that's real. They didn't.
But they locked in. They figured it out and they made it happen. And God bless them. If the offense had given them any type of help or a lead for that matter, things probably would have been different. And God, if only Tremaine Pratt had caught that ball that hit him in both hands and went ahead and took it back to the house like he should have, because nobody was in front of him, we could be looking at a different outcome to the game as well. Because then they could have won with another field goal or at least tied the game.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh.
But
I will say this. I will say this right here about our corners. Most receiving yards allowed by cornerbacks in week 2. Jalen Ramsey, 128. Trayvon Diggs, 104. L'Jarius Sneed, 101.
That's
Andrew
it?
Phillips, 99 yards. Alex Austin, 98 yards. No, that was week 2 total.
Week 2 total?
Yeah. That's all. That's what they allowed in a game.
Okay.
I don't see not one fucking Raider on that list. Thank God. That's why everybody. That was the big concern. That was the big concern from everybody.
Well,
They were like, "Oh, Stokes, he's gonna give up fucking about 150 and shit." And you, Kai Blue Kelly. Oh my God.
I do the linebackers and safeties.
And see, this is where I'm about to come at and say there might need to be some readjustments within the linebackers where I'd leave Adams and White out there.
Pratt was in position, so we can't knock that.
Yeah,
but,
no, I'm not going to knock Pratt.
and
Pratt
Erod,
usually can get in position to get a pick or break it up because there's been a handful of times when I've seen him with the Bengals, and it's just like, I feel like, boy, you got to catch that fucking ball.
Hey, you got to catch that. He pulled a Levante David out there because that one that he dropped was just like, bro, it's not gonna get no easier. You watched the ball into your hands and still didn't catch it. Your hands stopped the ball from hitting you in the face, and you still didn't catch it.
Yep. Yeah, that's how those usually go. But really, other than that, just looking going forward, week 3, if things are going to try, I'm not going to say anything because anything can fucking happen because any given Sunday. If the Raiders get the offensive line right, they will have success in the air and on the ground.
Yeah, this can be if you got 85% of Brock, this can be a get right game for the Raiders offense.
To be honest, I think Brock might be out of the he won't have that. You got to remember those kind of braces that you have, that plastic brace, the momentum that you are expecting to have, you're not always going to have it. Now he might wear just like the like a regular brace over it,
The sleeve,
like a sleeve over it.
I think the sleeve.
This
I think
past week, yeah,
should be good because he's definitely gonna need something because I will say that I noticed quite a lot of white and yellow helmets aimed at his knee.
Yeah, they did
a lot of that, and that's gonna be everywhere he goes for the rest of the year.
The one thing I would like to see them try to do, you have a second round pick and you need to start getting them involved a little bit more than what they're doing.
Another one of the many weapons.
They have a handful, and something, and I'm glad Gino pointed out that there was some shit. It was a lot of shit that you were forcing, and
all of the shit you were forcing because it wasn't a little. That was all of it was forced.
A lot, but we live, we learn. We got to fix our mistakes and make sure we don't repeat the same thing the following week. But other than that, I will try to go live at the stadium. I'll try to go live at the stadium with you guys for a little bit. Try to keep you guys updated and posted what's going on. Have a couple of drinks with you guys.
A couple. We need you to stay lucid, brother. Stay lucid. We don't need you to be out there doing multiplication.
But again, if you want more content, you want more breakdown and good information going on with this team, hello, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the Unfiltered Truth, y'all. And if you're really down for the cause, that After Dark show, you'll get more than what you bargained for.
Oh,
In a
yeah.
good way. In a good way.
Well, finest entertainment your money can buy and the greatest insight you'll get off of ESPN.
Other than that, man, Raiders just got to bounce back from this rough loss and get back to business.
I agree. You'll be going live from the stadium. I'm debating on whether or not maybe Saturday I may come and drop something, a little pregame woo wop, or maybe I'll do it early Sunday morning, and you can just tap in while you're out there.
All right.
Probably do Sunday morning. That'll be better. But so Sunday morning, catch me at in between 9:30, and we'll take it all the way up to kickoff. He's Jones. I'm Robinson. This is the Unfiltered Truth, and we are out.